All right, questions for Coach Johnson?
How was practice today?
It was a typical Monday. It's conditioning, a lot of special teams.
Same schedule as you used before when you had the bye?
We'll go to, we went today, we'll go Wednesday, Thursday, and then we've got a weightlifting deal on Friday.
Do you hit any more or less on Wednesday and Thursday in a bye week than you do during the regular season schedule?
Maybe, just depends. We will this week. We've got a lot of stuff to work on.
How's Andrew doing in terms of getting back and getting his win
Andrew
back?
Marshall?
Yeah.
We're hopeful that he'll be back next week.
And Shamir is the same, or that?
We're hopeful they'll all be back.
You kept it pretty close to the vest in the preseason about the quarterback position, but can I ask you to look back at what you were seeing then from Daquan? Did you see that he would be the kind of guy that would start off the way he has?
I thought in the spring practice that he probably overall played the best, but I try not to have guys lose their job if they're hurt. But it became pretty apparent to me after the first couple of weeks of fall camp that there was a separation.
Nice to see Jordan come in.
Yeah, I mean,
and do his
you know,
thing.
I think Matthew's getting better, actually. I think he's getting back into the groove a little bit. I think it hurt him in fall camp early when he missed the time, and he was a little rusty, but he's doing better now.
He looked a little quicker in this game than his, yeah.
Yeah.
Named player of the week?
Kenny Cooper on offense, A.J. Gray on defense, and Chunky Presley Harvin on defense, our punt special team.
He has a nickname, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I have a nickname for all of them.
Have you named captain? Have you, the team named captains
No,
yet?
we'll probably vote sometime this week, next week on Monday or sometime.
Paul, you made a comment after the game Saturday when asked about Quaid having been out of the day back a little bit about having nobody that runs downhill. You mean in the blocking role, the right-backs are not?
No, I was talking about carrying the ball downhill on the goal line.
You had a lot of offensive linemen moving back and forth in and out. What did you see there?
It was a struggle. The center guard box was okay, like it has been. We struggled at tackle, just to be honest.
What did you think of Connor's couple snaps he got?
Connor Hansen,
Yeah.
I think he went there and tried hard, played hard. We didn't do a whole lot when he was in there, same play over and over. So
Is it, I'm guessing at this point that the freshmen you played, you hope to keep it to that level, or there?
just depends on the injury. We talked about playing a couple of the freshman tackles on Saturday.
Right. You mentioned, I think, after the game about like how last week after the pick-in you focused more on fumbles or on just ball security. I'm curious how.
Well, I don't know more on ball security. We focus on that all the time, but
Right.
we tried to work more on the fundamentals and the mesh and footwork and all that.
I know the numbers. I mean, the ball's still on the ground. Did you overall? Did it look better to you that it was?
We didn't have any mesh fumbles.
All right.
We had one where the center snapped the ball before the count,
All right.
and we've got to do better than that. We've got to be ready for the snap too. And then we had one where it got punched out where we didn't have it up high and tight enough, and then the other one was just being not smart, reaching it out.
Is it to some degree? I mean, obviously you never
You're
want
going to play. You guys are making too big a deal out of that. I mean, it's a big deal, and the turnovers are this, that, and the other. I looked at the conference stats today. We're about right in the middle of turnovers. I mean, you know, nobody wants turnovers, and we coach, but it's like how many teams play that don't have them? Not many.
Right.
North Carolina had a couple too. You know, Pitt had a few. Well, no, Pitt didn't have any, but Jacksonville State did.
Right.
You know, I was watching the Tennessee-Georgia game. It wasn't like they weren't without turnovers, both of them. It happens sometimes. You got to coach it. You want to stay away from it, but it ain't the end-all, be-all. I mean, there's a lot of things that are involved in it. Now, will it get you beat? Absolutely. Same way that special teams and you know, not tackling guys and not blocking guys and missing open receivers and dropping balls and all that gets you beat.
It's sort of like Pat's teams throw more picks because ball's in the air more. If you run more, you're going to maybe have more fumble.
But it's like, and what gets you is when they're careless. You know, if people cause them once in a while, they're going to put their head on the ball and knock it out. And you can live with that if you've got the ball high and tight, you got it secured, and you're squeezing the ball. The ones that drive you nuts are the ones that you inflict on yourself. That's the ones that kill you.
The 14 team was like, it was by far your best in terms of ball security, number of fumbles. And you look at that team, and obviously there's a lot of skilled A-backs and B-backs that have played a lot. And I imagine
Well, we had a new quarterback in
Right.
14, but there was a lot of older guys. Yeah. Sometimes it just breaks that way. I mean, we've had some that are careless. We've got to do a better job of coaching it and that. And then we've had a couple that, guy kicks the ball. I mean, how often does that happen? Or the ball gets tipped. I mean, it's just like, I don't ever watch the Falcons. I was watching them. They had a couple on Sunday where the ball went through the receiver's hands or whatever. The key is to get some of your own, and then you can balance it out.
Couple more for Coach before we start.
Victor Alexander's in his first year as a starter. What are you seeing with his progress?
I think he's getting better. The more he plays, the more comfortable he gets, and the better he plays. We've got to continue to work. We've got a real problem with our eyes over there at times, and we've got to continue to focus on what we've got to focus on, and all that stuff that's good for the bye week. We've got a lot of stuff to work on.
What did you think of Harrison last night?
I didn't see the end because I'm too old. But it doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's gifted. He's really good, and pressure doesn't seem to bother him or never here. I mean, he made a lot of big kicks. So happy for him, and hopefully that'll give him a good jump start into being their kicker for a long time.
All right. Thanks.